Hello and welcome to Outcast Collective, another podcast where Janelle and I sit down and have a conversation about stuff.
And things.
Tonight, we sat down and we talked about females and minorities in cinema, and I think we had a really awesome discussion.
I agree. I hope you guys enjoy.
We are just going to get you right into it. We pre-recorded it. Please do not mind some of the technical errors. We had some issues with the editing process. That fault was partially mine. But all things considered, I think it actually came out really well. I think this might be one of our best ones so far.
I think it is too. The conversation is great. But we are beginning, so expect flaws. That's just normal.
So, no big deal. But you know what, guys? Enjoy. We're going to let you get right into it. Females in movies and TV, why are the feminist movement badgering all of this stuff when they have this that they can look at?
Right.
Well, I think feminists are very negative in general. That's why I'm not all into that. I'm a female, sure, but I don't get into the anger.
Right.
They're just angry. It's like every other protest.
Well, that's the problem is there was a problem with the female hierarchy in movies and television, but that's gone now.
Yeah, and they're still going.
But yeah, that's the problem is they're stuck here going, there's a problem. CBS moves Supergirl to CW. That's a feminist thing. We should be angry about this. No, you need to understand.
We get to cross over.
Right, the creative people behind Supergirl are on CW. Move them to CW. It makes sense. I don't know why she was on CBS in the first place.
Right.
I mean, I get it. CBS or CW only has so many slots, and they want to make this show happen, so it ends up falling on CBS, their sister company. But why are you badgering this? CBS, they don't want the female thing going.
You mean it falls on the sister company CW?
No, CBS is a sister company to CW.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's sister?
Yes.
I would think CBS would be the
No.
The higher
no,
one, and
CBS,
then CW would be right underneath.
Was bought
it.
out by CW,
which
is ultimately owned by Warner Brothers. It's just this giant conglomerate.
Well, I mean, CBS has been around since forever.
But they were like Sears failing, and Kmart bought them out, which doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so CW bought.
I believe that's how it works.
In a way, bought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe CW is the owner of CBS.
Okay.
Or if not, then Warner Brothers owns both of them, and they just sit next to each other like balls, which is a very male thing to say. But,
like tits.
Yeah, no, there you go. But
we'll get a feminist out of it.
But the point is, I am a feminist. I love feminine characters. There's books that I read specifically because the feminine is the main character. So why are we badgering CBS? They moved the girl. Well, they didn't cancel the show. The show's still fucking happening. Be excited that you still got a season 2.
Because I think feminists are negative. It's a negative side of the female race, and I don't agree with feminism.
Right.
I don't
agree with the extreme version.
Not the extreme. No, not at all.
So the question
fight
is,
for rights, fine, but understanding the politics and the behind the scenes creative views of why people do things when it comes to movies or shows. Get your knowledge before you start bitching.
Right.
Why wouldn't we bring Supergirl over to CW so that they can interact with the other shows?
Right, without any complications.
Why wouldn't we do that? That pushes the female superhero even more, because now we're throwing it into a man's world, a superhero's world that is a male. So why not do that? They're just not looking at the positive stuff. They're strictly staying negative.
Right. Well, and the move.
But we have that in any movement.
The move has a couple reasons. The other part is Supergirl was not hitting on a younger audience. It was hitting on a little bit older.
Well, how many? I know there's the youth of today watches CW.
Exactly.
Because CW is huge on the teens, on the early 20s audience. CBS, no.
No, that's
CW is a total teen, early 20s
right.
Type
CW
channel.
Has, Vampire Diaries and everything, right?
Yeah, it has all. And why wouldn't you
Wolf,
want? Yeah, why wouldn't you want to bring
exactly
Supergirl over to there?
And
it's gonna hit the fucking audience that it needs to hit.
Yeah, and Supergirl is a show that is about girl power.
Right.
The girl is in charge of the news station. The girl is the superhero. The girl is in charge of the FBI version of whatever the superhero.
So, I mean, if I was writing today for a younger generation, I would want to put it on CW, not CBS or ABC.
And that is the point of the move. That is why it mattered. They're trying to find the young crowd, that young girls.
And because they're trying to keep this character alive.
It's a great character. That's the thing.
So they're looking at it as like, oh, you're trying to kill it off. No,
right.
we're trying to bring more life to the character.
Right. So toofemale was trending on Twitter, and this is all based on Supergirl's move from CBS to CW, and the Nancy Drew was passed on by CBS. So they probably made the pilot, but the pilot was
Nancy Drew a comic? Or it's just books.
It's a book.
Right?
It's an old school kids book.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if they actually went into a comic.
I doubt it. I mean, if they did, I don't know about it, but
I mean, that was probably like one of the. I mean, that stuff is like from the 50s, 40s. Yeah. That was probably like one of the first superheroes, but that was a female in her own way.
Yeah.
I mean, she was solving crimes and not getting killed and facing villains. And then if you can go back in time and just add maybe like some kind of superpower, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all whatsoever. CBS is not making decisions based on the fact that they have a vagina, not a dick. That's just dumb to me. It makes no sense.
I mean, the fact that they're even thinking about grabbing Nancy Drew in general is good enough.
Well, the thing they probably saw it and went, "No, this is not what we want."
No, and I think it comes down to the writing.
Well, it's ultimately
if you don't sell me with the screenplay, forget it.
Well, and that's what it should be.
I mean, you hire these people to say, I know people, I know women, I know men, I know the genre that's out there, I know what people want. Mm-hmm. This ain't it. It has nothing to do with it, that it has to do with a woman role.
Right.
It is with the fact that it's a female role.
No.
It has to do with the writing.
Yeah.
So don't get mad at the people that reject things. Get mad at the writers. The writers are who create the character.
Right.
Period.
Right.
It's the producers and the directors that come in and hype the writing.
Well, yeah.
If you can't hype the writing, then the writing's bad.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So don't get mad at the companies for not grabbing a female role. Get mad at the writers for not creating the female role to be as powerful as you want it to be.
Right, and it might not even have been about the main actor either, or the
had
female
nothing to do
role.
with the actor.
It could have just been they watched the show and went, no.
The writing. It's all about the writing.
Well, yeah, it could have even been the right writing. It just could have been the director who directed the pilot did not get what they needed out of the actors to give it a life.
Oh, that too.
Because there's thousands of pilots that get made, and then half these shows don't even exist. And that's the thing is we need to stop and ask the question: was the Nancy Drew show good? If it wasn't, then great, we don't need it.
Right.
And CBS really doesn't need it because CBS is a struggling network trying to find life. And Supergirl belongs on CW.
I think CW is way bigger than CBS anyway.
It is. Oh,
so why be mad?
No, that's the thing that doesn't make any sense.
No, they're just angry. They're just negative.
Right.
Negative energy doesn't get you anywhere. I mean,
right. So why be angry
try
at
to
CW?
Find the fucking positive in everything.
Exactly.
And that's what they're not doing.
So why do we be angry at CBS? Let them do whatever fucking bullshit they're gonna want. You still have your show.
Thank you for taking it to CW. Why? Because you're going to hit the crowd that you need to hit anyway.
It's going to make more sense over there. And then on top of that, go to the things that are showing us positive, strong female characters.
Which is CW.
Go watch Game of Thrones. The last episode, that is the strongest female performance that I have seen in
I'm telling you, everything.
That was the greatest thing this year.
Everything in the last 12 months has been very female-y.
Well, yeah.
I mean, even when they're coming down to like making a movie about Black Widow, and they're making her a strong force in Captain America's, Civil War.
Well, she's the pivotal point of that movie.
The Winter movie. I mean, she is strong enough for people to say, "Let's write a movie for this character."
Well, and I don't know why they haven't yet. That's the thing that's been weird.
And we got Penny Dreadful, and we got
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, and who doesn't relate to Jessica Jones?
Well, right.
I mean, half of the women on this planet are just angry and going through bullshit. So we completely can connect with her. Especially that age group.
Well, you take Jessica Jones' story as it is. It was a manipulating male forcing a woman to do these different things. So,
is that not feminist?
I mean, that is a very down-to-earth type thing.
So we're taking feminism and flipping it and making it a superhero.
Well, yeah, and Jessica Jones is just an awesome fucking character in general. Like Star Wars. We ended up finding out Force Awakens was the main focus ends up being Rey. She was the powerhouse. She was the point of that whole fucking movie.
She's the point of the movie because the next movies are gonna make that movie make sense.
Well, it'll make it even make more sense. I mean, Finn is still a great character. I love him to death, and I'm so excited to see what's gonna happen with his character. And I ended up being enthralled with her.
Yes, and it makes that character the most important character of that movie because they leave you questioning who she is, where she's from, what's she gonna be. I mean, that is a great writing there. And that's great writing.
That Force Awakens movie was not just about her. It was about her and Finn. And then what is Leia doing? And, like, I'm reading Bloodlines right now. I'm, like, halfway through the book. Bloodlines is all about Leia. It's a female-led book. So many people missing the point of feminism.
It's because they're not educated.
Exactly.
They're not researching. They're not looking at mainstream media. They're not. They're staying in their backwoods state of mind, and they need to stop, breathe, step out, look at what's happening. Because I am not a feminist, but I can totally see all these feminine roles coming out, feminine directors, female directors.
It's female writers in general.
We got the Faith, the comic book, the Faith comic book. Huge ordeal with making a female real. And they're promoting the shit out of it. Yeah. Calm down, bitches.
Right?
Like, literally, stop.
That's the thing is
do your research before you sit there and protest shit.
Right.
This is not 1950. It shouldn't even be on our podcast. It shouldn't even be on anybody's podcast. It shouldn't be on anybody's news. You look at right now, everything's female-led. A lot of it. Like, so much of it is female-led.
But and see, that's the thing is everybody's so trying to focus on what version of negative can I find, where you need to stop and look at, like, one of the best movies from last year was Creed, and that's a black actor. That was Michael B. Jordan.
That is another thing, is, like, black actors, they're starting to stand up for themselves. They didn't, like, I understand why they're doing that, but at the same time, they didn't need to, because if they just waited just a little bit longer.
Well, right. Well, the lay person is getting angry because, you're not doing black this, or you're not doing woman this, or you're not doing this. When you got to stop and go, well, what are you doing for it?
Exactly.
So
look at the Star Wars posters.
Well, Finn's in the middle fucking
characters.
Yeah.
Black, female.
Yeah. And highest grossing domestic
white
movie
female. Ever. Everything that everybody's thinking. But it's happening.
Yeah, I think definitely it is happening. I mean, you have people like Tarantino who uses... Quentin Tarantino uses, a black character for Django Unchained.
Actually, he uses a lot of black
characters. No, he absolutely does. And that was a great fucking movie.
And he uses a lot of women.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we're seeing these actors and these directors starting to pull these things out. Ryan Coogler did Creed, and now he's doing Black Panther, and he's saying things like, I am more passionate about this than anything, and I love the Black Panther's character.
But do you see why his passion is coming out? He's going, I get to step into a world where there is not much black.
No, there's not.
And I get to create a huge black movement inside the comic book world.
And the Black Panther is an amazing character.
So
I've loved him since the 80s.
I think he's excited because he gets to be that epiphany in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, I think that's what he's seeing. I think he's seeing that this is going to be a pivotal movement moment within Marvel. Yeah, Marvel has these great runs and this great movement that's gone along, and now we're going to get a Black Panther, and this movie is going to be insane.
I'm gonna say, even if it doesn't hit huge in the box,
it's going to.
I'm just saying, if it doesn't hit huge in the box office, people that watch it at home are gonna go, "Fuck! I wish I would have watched that in the box. I wish I would have went to the movies for this." I think I'm just saying if they don't, if it doesn't get huge in the box office, it could make as much as, like X-Men's and stuff. I'm just saying, but if it doesn't hit that Guardians of the Galaxy note, that Star Wars note,
nothing's going to touch Star Wars.
It will probably have hit that note if you were able to add the home viewers to the movie viewers. Because what's going to happen is, I don't need to see that, I don't need to see blah, blah, blah. And then they go home and they rent and they watch it. Just because it's part of the story, they watch it. And then they go, fuck, that was badass.
I'm going to say this right now. This movie is going to absolutely destroy it in the box office. I went to go see the Avengers the first time. I was in Chicago at the time. I went to the midnight showing for it. It was a mixed race crowd. We were up and we were hollering. We were screaming. That movie was so fucking good. Energy of the crowd was the best energy I've ever had. There was moments where I didn't hear parts of the movie because everybody was just fucking busting. And there's guys behind me, like the first time Hulk and Thor go at it, and they go, ding, round one, and everybody's just like, woo, yeah.
Right.
And we were just feeding off that fucking crowd. That was a mixed race crowd. I guarantee when Black Panther comes out, that movie's going to destroy the box office.
I hope it does.
Because like Obama, if you take the presidential election the year before when Bush was being elected and he was running up against Kerry, there was like maybe a 35-40% of America showed up for the vote. They're like, hey, I got somebody I can believe in, somebody I want to see, I want to be a part of. Exactly. They showed up, they voted for it. That's what's going to happen with Black Panther.
I hope so.
You're going to see that crowd get behind this movie and go, yes, we have a motherfucking superhero to go behind.
No, I hope so.
Chadwick,
I like his character. I watched
I watched
a YouTube video about like the history of the character and all his abilities.
Yeah, he's
it was
rad.
Like unlimited. They just kept going, and I'm like, wow, this is a really cool character.
Yeah. He's like an uber agile version of Captain America. He's super strength,
but
he's got super speed.
But he's got the sound, the scent, the sense like a cat does. He's got all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
plus the Captain America stuff.
Yeah, he's fucking rad. I've loved him because I used to read the old school Avengers from like the 80s and 90s, and he was part of them. That's where I know him from.
He can even sense like when somebody's lying.
Yeah.
He can sense. He can smell fear. He could do all that cat-like stuff. Which who doesn't want to be a cat? So you add all the cat abilities plus human abilities plus superhuman abilities. That's like a badass character.
Absolutely. And I know that the Black Panther name is a little bit of taboo because of what happened with the 70s and stuff.
But it still sounded better. Like they were going to name it, not Black Panther, but like Black Leopard. Remember they were going to name it Black Leopard?
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, if you watch that YouTube video. No, nobody liked it. Nobody hit on it. And then we changed it to Black Panther and everybody was on top of it. So...
and the strange thing is Black Panther is well received with Civil War, but
the whole thing with the Black Panthers in the 60s and 70s, it was about power.
Yeah.
It was, and so
Yeah, it was a very negative movement.
But don't look at it so much as a negative, though. Look at it as a positive. We're going, this is Black Power. Here you go. But Black Power in a positive way, not in a negative way. And that's fueling good.
Well, he's a king and
energy.
a superhero, and, it has to. I mean, I'm reading the Black Panther comic right now, this is the first Black Panther's standalone comic I've ever read, and it's amazing. The T'Challa is the king. He's the person.
Right.
Wakanda is the city, and that's what it's all about. Is Wakanda? It's in like this giant civil war right now, and it's really fucking cool.
Right. And they even make the character. They own a big, huge company. They make amazing things scientifically. How many times have you gotten that in the past of Black characters? Hardly ever.
No, you get
so
like
now
the suit
we
of
get
happiness.
To, it's like the same thing that's going on with like the female side of things. It's growing, and the Black or the African American, that whole genre of things is growing. Just quit with the negative. Allow things to grow. It's coming. We promise. It's so there.
Yeah. Just
wait for it because it's coming. We're becoming more open-minded. As a globe. We're leading to no boundaries and no races and no gender. We're just going straight to artistic abilities, writing abilities. We're going to characters that mean something.
Yeah, the positive. Then there's no.
It creates a positive.
Exactly. So we should be able to live in a world where Captain America is just as fucking awesome as Black Panther.
Exactly. This is a strong. Yeah. Powerful, motivational. He is justice and fairness. Yeah. He's not cocky like Tony Stark. He's not egotistical. He is the epitome of what we want as a leader in all worlds.
And that's the thing. Every time Black Panther was in a scene, I was curious about him. I was interested. What is he doing? What is he thinking? How is he going to interact with all of this? And then he ends up stealing the scene from Baron Zemo where Zemo's confessing why he's doing all of this, and ultimately Black Panther has this great moment of going, I don't need this revenge, and then he ends up even saving Zemo from killing himself. And that's why like Black Panther and Captain America end up being like the greatest heroes. All that being said, I am highly looking forward to this Black Panther movie. I think this is going to be a great step in the direction of having an African American presence in. I mean, he's not even African American; he's just African. He'll have this presence of color in the Marvel universe, and hopefully he'll have a giant stamp in it.
I agree.
So. I think this has been an awesome podcast, and we've spent some really good time talking about the females and their roles, and that there is a lot out there. We just need to highlight it and not look at the mishaps of a company or the changes that a company is making to better themselves.
And stop looking at the negative things and try to just, as a society of either women or fans in general, just pull from the positive side, the positive movements.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the positive side of all of this is we have a great colored character in Black Panther. We have awesome female characters in Black Widow, Jessica Jones, Supergirl, among thousands of others.
Yeah, I think it's a good time in the cinematic world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think from this point on, we can just keep seeing that this world is going to get better and better at having equality across the board, and that only will breed more positive, more happiness for everybody.
And more movies. Yay!
Absolutely. So.
Who doesn't love movies?
So I thank you guys for listening. Please like, share, comment on any platform you're listening to, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. Please send us emails at outcastcollectiveemail@gmail.com. All the links will be below for our Twitter, Instagram. Find us. We have much more planned as far as we're going to dive like pretty hardcore into reviewing and talking about comic books.
X-Men Apocalypse.
X-Men Apocalypse will be out this weekend. We'll definitely be up on the mics going, fuck yeah. Also...
Because that's my shit.
Exactly. Not just that, but she's also incredibly into horror. So look forward to more conversations about horror.
Soon.
Absolutely. And we're more and more excited about everything that we're doing. So again, thank you. Have a good afternoon, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever it is. And see ya.
Bye-bye.